This is a Forwardly podcast.
Oh, hey, everybody, it's Colin.
Hi, it's Cadence. You know what I was thinking the other day? How convenient it is that of all of our siblings, we both have K names.
I know, I was going to say, I thought that the other day. Listeners, I don't want you to think that we're one of those families that has Kylie.
Like a Kardashian situation.
Or like any kind of all the K names. We have brothers and sisters and they have different letters of their names, okay?
Yeah.
Only Cadence and I have names that start with K.
Yeah, I was just like, that's kind of convenient for what we're doing. But anyway.
Anyway, we're just giving you a little mini-sode today, just a little bonus episode because we were, so far in this season, we've done Bolero, Deep Blue Sea, we've done Troll 2, we've done Glitter, Face Off, Battlefield Earth. I think I'm missing one. I think there's one more.
Nope, that's it.
But, we're just kind of talking about it, trying to figure out, who pulled the trigger on these movies? Who said that these movies were good? Who
so many
in Hollywood said, hey, these are really good ideas? Bolero is my number one, who honestly thought Bolero should get made, but I digress. Anyway, we were talking about it, and so we started looking up some stuff online, and there's just
I don't know if you're one of these people, but I'm one of these people that I have to research pretty much everything I watch, no matter what it is.
You love it. She researches everything.
I want to know
everything about every movie, about the actors, their backgrounds, the set designers, their kids' names, where they went to school.
Mm-hmm.
You love it.
I need full context. Full
context for how these movies got made.
Just becomes a really well-rounded experience when I know all of the things there is to know. So that's exactly what I did for all of these movies so far. I have culled the internet for the best bits of trivia about all the movies we've done thus far. And Colin, these are all news to him. I've saved the best bits.
Do not know
to
them.
Share with Colin.
Not know them because I, unlike Cadence, do not look anything up ever.
Well,
I
if you
experienced
don't
the movie
understand
and I go,
a movie, then why would you want to know more about it?
That movie was good. Bye. Case closed. All right, I'm ready to hear some of these. Let's go.
All right, so we're going to go in sequential order what we've covered so far. So, of course, first is Bolero. We're starting with that.
The most uncomfortable at the beginning.
So, okay, the first thing I'm going to start with is it's offensive, but I thought it was worth sharing because it's like a peek into a different time that I just can't even wrap my brain around. So, Olivia d'Abo, she played the little gypsy girl. I couldn't remember. What's her name again? Paloma. So she was 14 in real life.
No way.
Yes. And she is nude several times in this movie.
Oh my God. Because we were talking about it and that is
full nude.
So
full
awful.
Nude.
Oh my God.
So it gets worse. Okay. So she said that she physically matured when she was 13. And when John Derek wanted to hire her, he didn't believe her. He asked her to get breast implants.
What?
At
age you're just starting 14. This off real awkward. You're starting this off on a real dark note.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Not all the trivia is like this, but I had to share it because I thought it was batshit.
That is so gross. That should be illegal. You could not have a naked 14-year-old on any TV or movie.
Yes,
ever.
And wait, he didn't. He asked her to get breast implants. She's like, "Trust me, I hit puberty." He made her take her clothes off on set, and the first time he saw her real boobs, he was like, "Okay, we're good. You don't need to."
That is disgusting.
Isn't that
is
horrible?
Wildly disgusting.
Who was advocating for this child? I mean, Bo Derek was his wife. They were both producers of this film, and Bo Derek wasn't like, "Hey, John,
this seems a little weird.
Child.
She's a child, and she had no point in the story either, except for being kind of just there. It's just not like she had a pivotal role. She made the movie. She really could have been cut out of the movie. All she did was lead him to the guy.
She was just the connector.
Yeah.
She connected the dots. Yeah, it was wild. So anyway, that's really the only one that's truly fucked up.
Get to set it off on a nice, happy tone.
But that one just blew my mind. It blew my mind that anybody thought that was okay. It blew my mind that
because I remember
nobody was there
about
to advocate.
And I was like, why? I was like, she has to be 18 if she's doing this on TV.
Right.
No,
she wasn't.
I hate it even more.
Yeah. So here's another one. Producer Menem Golan would send Bo and John Derek memos about how to make the film more erotic.
Oh, jeez.
They
Well,
would
they,
just
they
send
obviously
him-
didn't get those memos. So they got
would
lost
just send-
somewhere.
They would just send memos back that said, "This film is erotic enough."
They were right. It really was. Wait, who was sending it to him? Is that the director?
The producer was sending, because Bo and John Derek are married, and
Yeah.
John was the director, Bo was the star, and Bo was also a producer. So they would send notes being like, "Okay, you got to pump up the erotic factor."
Okay, pump it up. And she's like, okay, I'm thinking ghost sheet over my head, helmet wearing. I'm thinking, like, what?
Wet water hair whipping.
Yes,
for
I'll
sure.
really sex it up. Okay.
Oh, and birds in a cage.
birds on a cage.
Oh, for
I'll have
sure.
them flutter all over his dick to get his impotence back. Yeah, that's
Get his
definitely
impotence back.
I mean, get rid of his impotence, get his penis working again. Because you guys, that's what she did. I don't know if you remember. She released a bunch of birds onto his penis. I don't know how to explain
Oh, I've
it.
definitely implemented that into my sex life.
Yeah, she's,
I have a lot of birds around the house these days.
So weird. Ugh.
So, we also had a couple conversations about where the name Bolero had even come from, why they chose it, because there was no mention of that at all in the
Yeah,
movie.
we had like looked it up what it was because it was like a Spanish style dance where they wear this specific type of jacket, which I think is the dance is bolero or the jacket
But
is bolero.
the reason they named the movie Bolero was two things. It's so convoluted. One was that the first was part of the name of Bo Derek, Bo.
Oh, clever.
And then she had her first major sex scene and become a sex symbol in the movie 10.
Yeah, that's where she had the braids on the beach running.
And that
slow-mo.
had been choreographed to the score of the classical music piece Bolero by Maurice
Oh,
Ravel.
Interesting.
So
okay.
they were just, cutting and pasting some stuff
so
together.
many layers to that bolero movie. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, she became famous with 10. That's how I knew her. I just knew the dreadlock running on the beach, but I always thought it was the girl from Splash.
Right.
What's her name?
Oh, yeah. Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah. I always got them confused, but yeah,
Both
okay,
beautiful
well,
blondes.
Good name.
And then there was this whole other sort of subplot. It's kind of complicated, but essentially, the producers just wanted to get as much distance from this movie as humanly possible. The studio wanted nothing to do with it. And Bo Derek said the producers were so disappointed with the film, they threatened to take away the Derek's family ranch and a ploy to distance themselves from the controversy.
What? They can't do that. Just come and take your home because they're so mad at the movie.
We're like, listen,
Listen,
we
we
need
do
a lot of
not.
distance.
I would definitely be on that producer side. I'm going to distance myself as much as I possibly can from this awfulness. But you can't take your
Yeah.
damn house.
It was really funny. It was just like everybody really bought into it. Everybody went full force. They didn't release it at this point, there was no NC-17. So because it was more than an R rating, the only other option was to be rated X. And they didn't want that because that would be, in their minds, like pornography.
It's like
and
Showgirls.
That's not what it
Showgirls was the first rated NC-17, I think, right? Or rated
Showgirls
X.
paved the way for so many
Showgirls paved the way
things.
for
It was
so
so
many
progressive. And so they opted to release it just without a rating. That was how they got around that. And everyone hated it.
Movie companies
Everyone
just
said
do
it was
that.
unwatchable.
Okay, movie companies just be like, you know what? We're just not going to give it a rating, and we'll do it. We'll get away with it, whatever we want. You know what? We just don't have to give it a rating.
And John Derek was just like, you know what? He wouldn't let anybody see sneak previews because everyone that had seen it so far thought it was so bad. So he was like, you know what? I made the movie I wanted to make, and I'm happy to release it the way I want to release it, when I want to release it, and I'm not going to show anybody beforehand.
I mean,
So, he stands by it.
good for
Good
you,
for him.
John. Good for you. You made a shit movie that everyone hated, but you know what? You made a movie.
I cannot wait to watch the next movie that Ghost Can't Do It.
Oh, Ghost Can't
Which is
Do
also
It.
him and Bo Derek.
Yes, you
That's on the
guys.
list, you guys.
It's really good. She tries to find a host for her dead husband, I think. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, I think that's what it is.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. So I also just wanted to read some amazing clips. The New York Times wrote a review in 1984 when Bolero came out, and it was so entertaining. So there are a couple of things that made me laugh. It said, most of Bo Derek's antics look distinctly chaste, and when she appears au naturel to do something other people might do clothed, riding a horse, for instance, the effect is less erotic than inappropriate. For some reason, the movie's sex scenes, which are relatively few, have been directed as slapstick. The chief exception is a final, more graphic tryst that takes place in the clouds with a purple neon sign behind Miss Derrick reading ecstasy.
I know. We said at the very beginning, this movie was not erotic. It was uncomfortable. Her riding a horse naked, it wasn't like sexy. It was like, ow. I can just only imagine little horse hairs getting up in your vajaj, scraping it around in her.
I know, I could not.
It was like, no, that seems uncomfortable and uncomfortable for the viewer. Oh, and I'm sorry, when she spit in his ear and then licked it out.
Oh,
Erotic.
don't remind me. There's some things I blocked out of that.
Erotic, Bo Derek. Good choice.
Ew. So the other thing that made me laugh from this review is they're talking about John Derek having also written the screenplay. And so he says, but he has directed her to remain insufferably coy, so as that the trysts are played for awkward laughs, and each love scene is prefaced by an orgy of nail-biting, hair-tossing, and whinnying. In one memorable scene, Miss Derrick greets her bullfighter lover with a sheet covering her from head to toe, crowned with a Prussian helmet. She is dressed as a ghost, and she explains
Oh my
to
God.
him, I thought you would be as scared to death as I am.
That's what I just said. Like, they're leaving memos to each other, like, make it more erotic. And she's like, be a ghost. Be a ghost with the helmet on. That will definitely kick up the eroticism of this movie.
So anyway, that was just some of the highlights. They were just like, it was so uncomfortable and awkward. And I liked that they were not being like brutal, but they're just like, listen, none of this works. I'm sorry to tell you.
They got in the New
Hate to
York
be the one to
Times.
break it to
Valero
you.
got in the New York Times, so good for them.
All right, so moving on. Next is Deep Blue Sea.
Mm-hmm. Give me the
Are you
facts.
excited?
Please tell me that you looked up what the hell was going on with LL Cool J and the bird.
Oh
you got
my
some
God.
backstory. Tell me you got
This
some
is my
backstory.
favorite. This is probably my favorite bit of trivia, and I'm just going to skip right to it since you brought it up about the bird. Okay.
Bird, your tongue's nasty.
All right. So here we go.
Okay, ready?
This is the bird fact.
Okay, bird fact, go.
There wasn't a huge budget for the movie, and director Rennie
Oh.
Harlin stated in the DVD commentary, there was lots of discussion about should we have the parrot, should we not have the parrot. So we
Could you
opted.
imagine having board meetings? Do we put in the bird or do we not? What do we do with the bird? How do we make it relevant to the story?
Okay, so should we have the parrot, should we not have the parrot? So we opted to have the bird,
Mm-hmm.
but we couldn't afford a Hollywood parrot.
Oh no, there's Hollywood parrots?
A parrot that's fully trained and comes with its professional trainers and does tricks and speaks on cue and so on. So we decided to go with a parrot from Mexico City.
Oh no, they just kidnapped a parrot from Mexico City and put it in a movie.
The production actually used
Why?
two
Why?
parrots. One that was good at flying and another one that was adept at sitting on LL Cool J's shoulder.
So ridiculous. Why? Why would you get a parrot from Mexico City? Like, why go through all that trouble to have the parrot in the movie? There was no need for it. It was completely like you could have. The movie would have been just the same without the bird.
You could have easily written that out. Like
Well, then
the
LL
fact
Cool
that there
J
was
wouldn't have
even
a reason.
discussion.
He wouldn't have a reason to be vengeful if Bird didn't die. So maybe it's like
Oh.
it's a driving character force for him.
You're so right. You're so right. That was like his the beating heart of his character was Bird.
Because once Bird got eaten by that shark, that's when LL Cool J really stepped up and started blowing up things and stabbing things and hitting them with pans. So it's kind of like a facilitator.
It totally was. It was a catalyst for him. So, Bird served a purpose, even if it was a Mexico City bird.
R.I.P. Bird. You're not a Hollywood bird, but you're still a bird in my heart.
He'll do. All right. So for one scene, Thomas Jane, who plays Carter Blake, had to swim alongside a real life shark, but he was only allowed to do this shoot once he had completed all of his other scenes, which I
Oh my
found
God. Because they're like, just in case anything happens, we've got him for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So if a shark bites off your arm, it's like, well, at least we have him for the rest of the movie.
I thought
He
that
can't
was
sue
so
us.
rude.
So rude. If I was him, I would look at my contract.
Listen,
What kind of
you
shark
might
was it?
die, but we're gonna have you for the rest of the movie. That's all that matters. And we'll have your death on tape. So win-win.
Win-win. When did he ever have to swim like a shark? All those sharks were, none of them were real. It was all CGI, and when he was like surfing on the back of it, it was clearly like a plastic shark across the water.
Definitely not
so,
real.
When was there a real
Um,
shark?
I don't know. There is a scene where he's kind of like in the same general vicinity as the shark. And that's the thing. It was like a really brief scene. And he said it was traumatizing to have to do it. Like he has a fear of sharks. And so anyway, I felt like you could have gotten away without that.
Right? I don't feel like there was any need for that at all because none of the sharks in the movie were real. He's not a real shark wrangler. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Was it a Hollywood shark though? Or was it one of those?
Could you
Was it
imagine
those
a Hollywood
Mediterranean
shark with like
sharks?
sunglasses?
I know. He's like, hey, here to swim.
I don't want to do this again. I don't know if anybody told you this.
You
but
find
I'm
me
a
in my
Hollywood
dressing
shark.
room. I'm a Hollywood shark. And I know a Hollywood parrot.
So this was one of those things that I guess once you're part of the movie, like you know all of the motivations for the characters and things that happened that just the layperson watching doesn't know. So this was something that I thought was really interesting. So in the beginning, when that shark goes to the catamaran, you know, the very opening scene.
The very beginning Jaws ripoff scene where he is going to kill the high schoolers having a sex on a catamaran in the middle of the ocean.
Mm-hmm. So that was a Gen 1 Mako. Okay, that wasn't a Gen 2.
That was. I know. You know why? It didn't swim backwards. It didn't turn off all the security cameras on that catamaran.
It didn't turn off all the lights.
It didn't turn off all the lights in sequence. That's why I knew.
So the Gen 1 Mako that escaped threatened the catamaran and then was rounded up again in case in the opening sequence, it wasn't just a chance escapee. It was scouting the area to confirm that the nearby waters were suitable for all 3 super Makos to inhabit.
Oh my God.
Not too warm or cold.
Whoever's
No
writing
rival
this
predators to fear, and plenty of prey. It attacked the boat to test its own hunting abilities, verifying that they'd be able to survive on their own once humans weren't supplying them with food anymore.
Where did you get this? Is this a fan theory off Craigslist? That is not a real thing. Is that what the producer said? They really put that much energy behind it? No one was thinking that.
So
no
much
one was
energy
thinking
behind
that.
this.
Oh God, that is ridiculous. So it actually is smarter, you know, if it's scouting out food, predators, making sure the waters are okay.
I mean, and that was just a Gen 1.
That was just a Gen 1. Think about what those Gen 2
Imagine.
guys did. Now you know why Bird got killed. Those Gen 2s are smart. Smarter, I should say.
Smarter. This made me laugh a little bit because I guess the visual effects team, they said notably during the infamous scene of the shark grabbing Samuel L. Jackson, the shark itself looks too rubbery, and the way it grabs him seems to defy all known physics. Even the visual effects team at Hammerhead Production admitted that it had some flaws.
You think? He was standing in front of a tiny, 2-foot hole, and a giant shark comes and bends in half, eats him, and drags him down. It is denies. What the fuck's the word?
Defies.
It defies all logic. Sharks don't move like that. They don't. But it is the scene making of the movie, or that's making. You know what I mean?
What are you trying to say, bud?
I don't know. I'm having a hard
What are you trying
time.
to say, bud?
I was saying that was the scene that made the movie. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, for sure.
It's what caught your eye. That's what you got stuck on it. You just once you saw that scene, you were hooked on Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, that was the gateway drug for me.
DPS was the gateway drug. It was like your dust.
I guess. I must be smoking dust, Daddy.
I must be smoking dust, Daddy, because I just saw DPS for the first time.
So this is kind of a small fact on the tail end of that. So I guess the rumor was around the time that this movie was made that Samuel L. Jackson wasn't having a good time filming the movie. So they conceived of that death halfway through because he just wanted to be off the movie. But that actually wasn't the case at all. He had originally been offered the role of Preacher, played by LL Cool J. But he didn't like the idea of being playing a chef, so he turned it down.
He didn't want to play along with the Mexican parrot either. He's like, nope, I'm only doing that job if you get me a Hollywood parrot.
Listen, I'm Samuel L. Jackson. Hollywood parrots are part of my contract.
No.
And so basically, Rennie Harlan wrote the role of Russell Franklin for him. And he tells him, you're going to be the richest man in the world. You're going to have the greatest scene in the movie. It's going to be a shock to everyone. And immediately, Samuel L. Jackson was like, yep, I'm sold. You got me.
But then they just kill him off. I can't believe that he allowed them to kill his character off. Sorry, spoilers. Spoiler alert. Samuel dies. Samuel gets picked out of the laboratory real quick by a shark, a Mako shark, Gen 2.
Gen 2.
Pops through the hole, flops over, grabs him, takes him under.
This is another thing connected to the opening scene with the catamaran. During the opening scene, it's implied that the shark becomes more aggressive in attacking the boat of teenagers because of the blood-like wine that spilled off the boat.
Oh my God.
But why would a shark mistake the smell of wine for blood? Until you realize that it's thanks to the shark's enhanced brain that it's ignoring
Oh,
its instincts of
Jesus.
smell and is relying on things like assumptions, just
Where
like
are
a
you
human
getting
would.
this? Cadence, where are you getting this? This is some guy in his parents' basement writing fan fiction for Deep Blue Sea. That is way too thought out. We're not dealing with the film here, you guys. It was sharks. It was sharks that attack people. It's like not this deep meaning. Like no one's sitting there being like, oh, that makes sense. The sharks understand the wine. So
They're making assumptions just like a human brain.
I know. Come on. Who is writing
It's
this?
that protein
It's
complex.
that protein complex. Makes them very smart. Or they're just alcoholics now because they're so smart. And they're just
like,
we know the
wine?
difference
Okay,
between-
well, where have we been missing
I
out?
know. I'm scouting the area for some more wine.
I love a Pinot Gris. That's like when they get real smart. They have like a wine club.
Well, once you get smart and sophisticated, you always are part of a wine club. They're just always
for
are sipping
sure.
shark wine.
So another deleted scene made it more obvious that Dr. Whitlock and Janice were in a relationship. And in one version, it revealed that Janice was pregnant and then she dies. But Rennie Harlan was like, it doesn't feel right to kill off a pregnant character. So they cut that out.
Well, yeah, it seems like just a frivolous thing to put in there at that point. Because Janice had maybe 2 lines. And Dr. Whitlock, he died real early. He was the first guy that got sassy smashed into the wall. He was the first one to die. So it just seems frivolous at that time. Anyway, yes, okay.
Here's one other thing about the depth of the choices that the sharks make that I think you're going to really like. The scene where Franklin gets eaten was included to subvert expectations, but also because the sharks have clearly been observing human behavior. Even if they can't understand human speech, they figured out that people could cause the station to sink and how to herd them around, so they'd have to make it happen.
Oh my God.
So why couldn't they have killed Franklin when they did on purpose? If they could detect vibrations and erratic neural impulses, if people were panicking, and then realize that Franklin, who's we're getting out of this speech, was calming them down, then they may have deliberately taken him out before he could get everyone thinking
Oh my God.
and potentially derail the Mako's gambit.
This is so stupid. They are really stretching the depth of this movie. It is so dumb. Also, the sharks haven't been observing human behavior. They don't have cameras. Do they have cameras
Oh, I'm
inside?
so sorry. Did
Do
you
they-
forget about the two-way movie screen
I
that was sort of like glass that I really over-explained? And it was just,
The scientists are in
aquarium?
there and they're like, does anyone notice these sharks have been watching us nonstop? They're just staring at us. 3
with
sharks.
little notepads. Little fins,
looks
writing
like Sheila and
notes.
Gary, our sharks, our Gen 2. They've been staring at us for hours.
The sharks are like, no, just go about your business.
Go about your business.
No,
We're
you're
observing.
you're fine. You're
We're
fine. I'm just
observing.
thinking about
We're
something.
just picking up your vibrations. Just be cool. Be cool. Like the sharks didn't observe. That's the only way the sharks could have observed the humans, and unless they were in that glass aquarium the whole time, it just
They
doesn't
could
make any
detect them
sense.
vibrations.
Mhm. That's right.
All right, the last thing of Deep Blue Sea that I just thought was a fun side note. The special effects team was headed by Walt Conti, who also did the snakes in
Snakes.
Anaconda.
Oh, Anaconda. That is good. Wow, what a connection there. He's
Yeah.
really good at
He's
visual
just-
effects. Really
job,
good.
bud.
Actually, it was the 90s. Or actually, Deep Blue Sea was early 2000s, right? But still, visual effects they came a long way since then.
He was evolving. And
He
the
was
thing is, they
evolving.
build, there's a lot of trivia around, the sharks, because they built these animatronic sharks. And they spent, 8 months building these sharks. It was a huge
8 months
deal.
building the sharks?
Yeah, because they had one, remember the giant one they have in the studio that bites off Dr. Whitlock's arm?
Oh, yeah, when she's getting
that
the
was a
protein
full-on-
complex.
Yeah, a full-on animatronic situation.
Oh, I
So-
couldn't tell. It looked real to me.
And they would challenge the audience to pick out the fake sharks and which ones were CGI and which ones were
Oh,
the
God.
animatronics,
Oh, my
because they were
God.
like, that's how good it is. You're not even gonna be able to tell the
You're not
difference.
going to know. Well, yeah, they obviously used a real one because they had what's his name almost die training with a real one. So I wonder where that was in the movie.
I know. I'm really curious about where that scene
Because there was
now, 'cause
never a real shark in that movie, not one time.
I think, yeah, it was not a lot. If it was a real quick passing scene.
Maybe.
Real
yeah.
quick. All right, moving on.
Lay it on me. Lay it on me. The next
Troll
one.
2.
Troll 2, yes.
You ready?
I'm excited about Troll 2 too for you.
There was a lot of good stuff. And some of the stuff we talked about, so I tried to pick new stuff that we weren't going to repeat, but one of my favorite things was the cast had a reunion and they did a reunion Q&A as a panel, and the director was so angry about the poor reception that he crashed this Q&A and he was escorted out of the room because he started heckling the cast from the hallway, calling them liars and dogs.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
What? No one calls Holly a liar and a dog, number one. And I at the very end of the episode, if you guys didn't listen to Troll 2, at the very, very, very end, we put a little clip of the director being so defensive of his movie. He's just like, I don't make bad movies. I make good movies. I make movies. So angry because the people were basically asking him, like, how does it feel to make the best worst movie? And he's like, it's not the worst. It's scary. It's good. And I'm like, buddy, you just gotta take what people are saying and just kind of accept that you made a really, really amazingly bad movie.
Yeah, he had a hard time understanding why it didn't do well, and he was on board to make a sequel. He was already making plans. Not only did he not speak English.
Poor guy.
No one in the entire crew, like cast and crew, didn't like. It was all an Italian crew, and the only person who could translate was the costume designer. And so
she's got a lot on her plate or his plate.
Exactly.
She's like, I'm designing these troll costumes. I've got to interpret what this guy's saying, give these bizarre instructions.
And she can't be everywhere because she's a costume designer. So it's like if she happened to be around, then she could translate what he wanted, what he was trying to get from them. Otherwise, they were just figuring it out.
Seems like that could have been a real easy fix. Just get a full-time translator. That seems like a pretty easy fix.
You would think, but there was a lot of things that could have been an easy fix that he chose not to.
What would I have done to been on that panel that day asking them questions? Ugh.
When Arnold turns into a tree.
I still want to know what happens to Arnold because it doesn't ever explain.
Well, he could still be standing there because it said his shoes were screwed into the base of the tree pot so he could remain stationary through the scene. And he had to stand inside this pot in his tree makeup for 14 hours.
Arnold, oh my God. That is amazing. That's dedication to the movie.
I would die.
Why 14 hours?
I don't know. I think maybe...
Did they film it all in one day? They just filmed the whole thing in one day.
It took 3 weeks to film this movie.
Did it really? 3 weeks?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So I think it was probably like, they talk about that in other big budget movies too. It's like once you get into makeup, it takes such a long process that you just have to like power through for the whole day because there's no way to like take it off and then put it back on.
I'm just boggled because they only showed him like one time as a plant. Why would he have to stand there for 14 hours? I'm confused.
Right.
Did he know that he didn't have to?
And nothing about this movie had continuity. Nothing.
So
if they were worried about
they showed him one
errors,
time. Yeah, they showed him one time as a plant. That just doesn't make any sense.
It really, really, really was mind-boggling because I'm like, number one, it's not like they didn't make any mistakes. Just have him step out of the pot.
I know, right?
The bathroom. No one's going to notice.
Yeah, what do you... the dedication. He was so dedicated. He thought this movie was going to be so good. He was like, continuity.
Bless his heart. The American VHS cover features artwork consisting of a little boy with what appears to be a troll doll being chased down a dark corridor by a werewolf brandishing an axe. Neither the boy nor the werewolf are in this film. And no one quite knows why this was the artwork.
I know. And if you look up Troll 2, there's like a couple different ones. There's one like big scary troll in the fog. Doesn't look like the trolls in the movie or anything. None of the artwork matches with what is in the movie.
Yeah, it's and they said that the trailer that the director released for Troll 2 consisted all of cut scenes that weren't even in the movie. He just strung together a bunch of scenes they shot that didn't get put in the movie and released it as a trailer.
He's keeping people on their toes. He does not want to give them a slice of the pie. They do not have any chance of knowing what's going on in this movie.
I mean, yeah, that's one way to do it. Absolutely going in blind. That makes sense.
I love going into movies blind.
According to cast members, the dance that Holly does in front of the mirror.
Oh, Holly, I love you.
It was ad-libbed because she had actual cheerleading experience.
I told you. I knew it. Those moves were too particular to be not practiced over and over. It was like workout moves. It wasn't dancing. It was like workout dancing.
It was very military cheerleading. Yes, for sure. It was a very unique style.
Very
for sure.
unique style. Holly.
Good job.
Where's Holly now? What other movies has she been in? I want to see.
also, okay, I know this for a fact because the whole time I was watching Troll 2, I'm like, she looks really familiar to me, and I can't quite figure out why. Because there's this really awful, terrible movie that got made by Mormons when I was like 19 called Singles Ward, about Mormons going to a singles ward trying to find love in Utah.
She was in it?
She was the lead.
Oh my gosh.
She was the lead.
So her career took off, obviously, after Troll 2.
Yeah, it only took like 12 more years to get that part.
Remember when I thought everybody was the little girl from Waterworld?
Oh, everybody.
You
If there was
guys.
a little girl in the movie, she was the girl from Waterworld.
Every time I was like, is that the little girl from Waterworld? But she was never in anything else ever. But every movie I saw after Waterworld, I just thought the little girl from Waterworld was it.
I'm sorry, she was in Napoleon Dynamite.
I know. I was going to say she did make a debut in Napoleon Dynamite. But for some reason, I was on this kick for years where I was just like, hey, is it the little girl from the Waterworld? And they're like, no, not at all. Nope.
You just had like face blindness for kids.
I
Like, all
did.
kids just look the same.
All kids look the same.
This is something that I really enjoyed. So the costume designer, her name is Laura Gemser, and she was part of.
She needs an Oscar for that. Those costumes were very spooky.
Okay, so listen, she was a part of softcore porn during the 70s and 80s.
Oh.
No one quite knows how she became the costume designer for this
Slash-
film.
The costume designer / interpreter.
But listen, her design for the costumes consisted of burlap sacks
I definitely picked that up. Definitely.
and rubber Halloween masks.
Oh.
Did you catch that?
I did not get that at all from the very first scene when I said that they can't actually eat food because it's a plastic mask.
Some of them were reused in another movie. It's like Joe D'Amato's A Tour Barbarian films. Don't know what those
I
are,
have
but
no
they
idea.
they were that good that they got reused.
The mask, the Troll 2 masks.
hmm
Oh, wow.
And only one goblin had a mask modified to have a movable mouth.
Oh, which one? Because I did not see any that had a movable mouth. It was all plastic.
I don't know either, honestly. I didn't remember one moving, but maybe there was just, we were also enraptured by Gert, so all of our
Yeah,
attention was.
Gert. She's my
very
favorite.
focused.
Ugh, Gert, I love you, R.I.P. girl.
And then I just thought it was funny. This is like one little thing that's not that interesting, but it verifies that the witch's home was actually a former church, which we both were like, that's
of
clearly a
course.
church.
It was clearly a church. There's like a cross on it. It's like full stone in the middle. It's, yeah. Stained glass windows of Jesus.
There's lots of great, like, I mean, we covered a lot of them, but yeah, that movie, it was just like filmed in a really short amount of time. No one knew what they were being cast
I
in.
can't believe they filmed it in 3 weeks.
It was, yeah, it was a wild ride. It was a real wild ride. But that's all of the trivia for Troll 2. And now we're going to move to Face Off.
Oh, God. I don't want to do face-off trivia. I'm going to get angry again. I got so angry that whole time. That whole podcast, I just repeated myself on how angry I was.
If you need to take some time
I need
to
take
get a
breather, 'cause
drink,
Face-off was so awful. Okay. Ready.
smoke a little cannabis, take an edible, just calm down. It's going to be fine. We're going to get through this. If you thought that there were aspects of Deep Blue Sea that were taken way too seriously,
Yep. I was blown away by that.
you have zero idea how much John Woo, Nicolas Cage, and John Travolta thought that they were making an absolute masterpiece.
Oh my God.
An absolute
I mean,
masterpiece.
they did. It was really, really good. But again, people liked it, though. I mean, in a way, 92% Rotten Tomatoes.
In a way they did.
In a way they did, man. People are
I
still
mean,
talking
John
about
Woo's
it.
a famous director, so he's obviously good at what he's doing.
I think John
and he
Travolta
has
just thinks anything he makes is going to be really good because we all know some of his choices. Battlefield.
I think I have a theory, and I don't know John Travolta well or at all.
You don't know him well? I know him very well.
But I think he's like a narcissist that kind of takes himself very seriously. Like, I don't think he's
what gave you that
capable
idea?
of making
What
fun
gave
of
you that
himself.
idea when he made Battlefield Earth and said it was the new Schindler's List, baby?
There are some people who can sort of take themselves, you know, like not take themselves seriously, make a joke, be like, yeah, haha. No, I just don't think he's capable of it. And my theory is actually, I think, partially proven by the first little tidbit of trivia I found. It said John Travolta asked the writers if they were making fun of him with the ridiculous chin line.
I thought that was like part of it, like, because that was clearly a dig at his chin.
Right. And they had to explain to him. And this made me laugh because I just thought of a bunch of writers like calming him down.
JT,
They're like, no, it's not at all. We're not making fun of your chin at all. See, the thing is that Castor Troy is such a narcissist that he would just hate having anybody else's face. Like, this is 100% a Castor Troy issue, not a John Travolta chin issue.
We're not in control of Castor Troy's morals and is what he decides. It's his mind, not ours. They just fully put the blame on the actor, not the actor, the character, and what he would say. We're not writing this. He's writing it.
He brings the script. He's like, hey, guys, there's this line about a ridiculous chin. And I'm just curious if you think my chin is ridiculous. No, I don't think you have a ridiculous chin.
Not me,
Castor
no.
Troy thinks you have a ridiculous chin.
It's Castor Troy's fault. He's your arch nemesis.
So also something that I would pay so much money to watch is that originally Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone were going to play the lead roles.
That would have been amazing. I would have died.
So
good. So good.
John Woo, when he was brought in to direct, he's the one that was like, nope, it's going to be John and Nick.
Stupid decision.
You.
Stupid decision. Arnold and what's his name? What did you say?
Arnold and Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone. That would have been amazing.
So good.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger's huge, though. Like, I know Sylvester Stallone's got a pretty good body, and he's pretty big, Rocky. I get it.
The height difference is negligible.
The muscle mass is negligible.
Oh, that would have been so good. Watching Arnold try to be Sylvester and watching Sylvester trying to be Arnold. Oh, man.
They couldn't have done it either because Sylvester would have had to have his accent. You can't hide that accent, Arnold. There's no voice chip in the world can hide that accent.
The crew shot on Nicolas Cage's birthday. So also Nicolas Cage, I don't think, is also capable of making any jokes about himself.
Oh,
and he takes himself very seriously. He already almost didn't sign on because he didn't want to play the villain. He was like, I don't agree with this. I don't want to be a villain. I'm only a hero. And
did
so
he really say that? Oh, well,
mm-hmm.
National Treasure. He was a hero.
So they're like, okay, here's the thing. Like, yes, you start out as the villain, but then you get to be the hero in the villain's body, so you're really the hero.
Oh man, those writers, they manipulated that
they're so good.
Really
they're
good.
Writers for a reason.
Got it. Okay. Did you know that Nicolas Cage kind of made a comeback with that Mandy movie? Did you ever see it?
Oh, Jed loves that movie.
Oh, it's so good. I like it. It's a little out there, but he did a really good job. It was like kind of his comeback thing that he did. Everyone was so surprised to see Nicolas Cage.
We watched another movie about I cannot remember the name of it now, but it's him and he's like killing all these possessed things at like a Chuck E. Cheese, like not a real Chuck E. Cheese, but something like a Chuck E. Cheese.
So he's back in Nicolas Cage movies then.
Yes, it's just got made last year.
Oh my God. That gave me an idea real quick.
He doesn't talk at all. He's in the whole movie and doesn't say one word.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He just fights these possessed animatronic animals.
I know what movie we have to do. That's a total B movie. It's so bad it's good. Wicker Man. He was in Wicker Man.
It's on so many lists.
We need to do Wicker Man. I'm dying to see it because I know it's like on those. All I know is the scene where they put the bee cage on his head. The bees.
Yeah. I just saw a list of like the worst movies on Netflix or something, and that was on the list, and I keep seeing it pop up, and so yeah, for sure. Okay, mental note, we're gonna do the Wicker Man. So here's another example of him being really uptight. The crew shot on Nicolas Cage's birthday, and John Woo let Cage get really emotionally charged up for a scene, and then surprised him with the birthday cake. And Nick Cage was like so PO'd. He was like, do not do that to me again. Do not emotionally manipulate me like that again. You let me get all worked up for this scene, and then you surprise me with the birthday cake, and I'm supposed to be happy?
Well, it is kind of a weird choice for John Woo to be like, let's do this. Like, maybe just give him the birthday cake when he's in a good mood off the set.
Yeah, like either before or after.
That's an easy problem. Just don't do it right in the middle of when he's doing a scene.
He did overcomplicate it. You're right. I'm putting too much
You know
on
what?
Nick Cage
These
for that one.
writers, though, John Woo and these writers, a manipulation team 101. I love it.
Then Nicolas Cage also decided he didn't want to see any of the grotesque face makeup. So John Woo had to hide all the reflective surfaces.
Oh, God.
I'm like, come on, but just close your eyes.
Just close your eyes. It's obviously makeup. They're not really taking your face skin off. It's okay, Nick Cage. Just chill.
Oh my God, so intense.
And that's the thing in the movie, and that is true because the only time you get a glimpse of his face when it's off is like not in a mirror. It's like the reflection of a bedpan or something, right?
That's true.
It's like a metal bedpan. So you kind of see the face makeup, but not really. So the audience didn't see it either. So you could have left that face makeup out. We definitely got the idea that your face was taken off. We don't need to see. We watched a 45-minute scene of them lasering off your face skin. We saw your skin in bandages. Mm-hmm. We get it.
It was
you don't
clear.
you don't need to show us.
This is one of those things that's, so intense. The two main characters' blood types reflect their antagonistic nature. Sean Archer's blood type is O negative, the universal donor, reflecting Archer's role as a police officer dedicated to serving the community.
Oh, God.
Castor
Give me a
Troy's is
break.
AB positive, the universal recipient, someone who takes from society without giving anything back.
Oh, I picked up on that real easy. Real quick. That's so
Those
stupid.
were my notes. We just didn't have time to talk
so
about
stupid. So
it. Totally
dumb.
in my notes.
O negative. Oh, God. I don't even know my blood type.
I don't either.
Like, how do you find out your blood
either.
type? Do you call your doctor and be like, by the way, what's my blood type?
It's got to be like, if you have blood work done, like it's got to be just
Somewhere out
the
there.
first thing on the
Yeah,
list.
right? Everyone, like, I just don't know. Because we had a conversation about blood types the other day, and I was like, I have no idea what my blood type is.
I should probably find out. It's probably helpful.
It's probably really rare. Probably only like a couple people have it.
You probably have just like they're actually going to discover a new blood type with yours. They're going to be like, we didn't
It's
think
so
this
rare.
even was possible, but it's half wine, half blood.
It's Pinot Noir. That's what it is. It's PN blood. You have PN blood.
It's type PN.
It's type PN, Pinot Noir
Oh
blood.
my God, that's funny. Okay, so Joan Allen was John Woo's first choice for Eve.
Mm-hmm.
The studio wanted to go with someone younger and make her a stepmother, but Woo fought for her. I mean, I'm not saying they should have gone for someone younger. Should they have done a better hair situation?
Yeah,
For
should
sure.
they did a better wardrobe change? Get the woman from Troll 2 to come in here and do some costumes for that woman.
Put on a
'cause
burlap
she's
sack,
full-
come on.
Put on a burlap sack because she was full head to toe every scene. They made her look very grandma-y.
This blew my mind. In early drafts of the script, Archer went to Castor's mother's place to hide out, and the writers wanted the mother to be played by either Elizabeth Taylor or Jack Nicholson in drag.
No way.
What the fuck?
Jack Nicholson in drag. What?
Those are the
Why?
options. Elizabeth Taylor.
Taylor. Oh, I would
or
have
Jack
loved to
Nicholson
see
in drag.
Liz Taylor be the mom. That would have been Nicolas Cage and Liz Taylor acting together. Would have been a dream come
Oh,
true.
over the top.
I don't know which one I would rather see more, Liz Taylor or Jack Nicholson in drag. I don't know. Tough choice.
Okay, this next
Speaking
one.
of, real quick, have you seen
Yeah.
that show with Zach Galifianakis? What?
Between Two Ferns?
No. It's the clown. It's like a TV show. Baskets the clown.
Oh, no.
Anyway, that guy Louis Anderson who did
Mm-hmm.
Family Feud, he plays his mom. So he is in drag, but he does such a good job. I have to send you a picture. It's just Louis Anderson with like a blonde bob.
I love Louis Anderson so much.
And he plays the mom, and it's so good. It's like you just get caught up. You like kind of forget it's him because he does such a good job playing the mom. But anyway,
I
side
love
note.
him. He used to make a really funny cartoon when we were kids. Life with Louie. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember Life with Louis
Oh, I was obsessed
because
with
he
it.
had that like he was like that little kid with his voice.
Yes.
Ugh.
It was so funny. Oh, Louis Anderson does not get
Louis
enough play.
Anderson. I know.
Okay, so this next one is okay. I can't even believe that this was actually a thing that almost happened. Okay, the studio pitched for an African American lead, but John Woo didn't think it was a great idea seeing as Nicolas Cage was white.
Oh.
And his blackface may have given Troy's criminals a second thought as to his true identity.
You think? You think at this point, probably not. They would have spun it like no, but like not even any difference. It's just like, oh, like everyone in the movie is just
talk
like,
about blackface.
come on. I
Jesus.
would just think you couldn't consider that for a role when
Like,
people are switching
even as
faces.
an option.
Like, yeah,
Even as
like
an
who even
option.
thought about that? Who even thought that up?
Yeah, and that John Woo had to be the one to be like, the director. I don't know if
That's a good idea.
that's gonna work out.
It's not me that doesn't want it. It's his character that doesn't want it. Sorry, his character doesn't think this is a good idea. Like, how would that work at all? It's like Denzel Washington and Nicolas Cage switch faces.
I know. It was so wild. I'm like,
I mean, at this point, it didn't really matter because nobody would have known. I mean, come on.
it's true. They would have figured.
They would have
something
figured
out.
something out.
This is where it gets a little bit like not dicey, but convoluted in a way that I just was like, what the fuck? John Woo, okay, in the original script, he intended for Castor Troy and Sean Archer's characters to have been romantically involved, with Sean's unwillingness to let their love be known, acting as a catalyst for Castor's betrayal and subsequent murder of his son.
Wait,
But the
this was going to be a
producers-
gay thing?
But the
It's gonna be a
producers
hot
were
gay
worried that
face-off?
American audiences would be confused by that and find the characters less sympathetic.
What? What? So they were supposed to be like lovers that took each other's faces?
No, they were supposed to be lovers that had a falling out. And the falling out, because Sean Archer didn't want their love to be public, would have caused Castor Troy to go crazy and shoot his son. That was the impetus for that. Because
Well,
remember how
A,
we were
that's
like,
a very
you
toxic
never find
relationship.
out.
But B,
Oh.
like, first off,
the
okay,
least.
if you break up with somebody, you don't kill their son. Okay, number one. But that is wild. Why? I mean, I would have loved to have seen that version.
I mean,
But then what would
I
the
think we
catalyst
all
for
would
switching
have.
faces?
but yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I guess I'm also curious, like, was Sean, in this version of the script that John Woo had, was Sean Archer still in the FBI? Was Castor Troy still a terrorist? Because that's also an interesting dynamic that they're like political and professional
It's
enemies, but then they're
opposites attract.
also in this
Opposites
forbidden
attract.
love for sure.
Deep love knows no bounds.
Who does not want to watch a love scene with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage? Who doesn't?
Wearing each other's
That's
faces.
what I'm saying.
In
Or
a-
yes,
in a gay
even better
love
with them
triangle.
having sex with each other as each other.
Would have been amazing. They really
Would've
missed
been
out on a
great.
huge audience for that movie.
Damn, they really missed an opportunity.
Opportunity missed.
There is a rumor. This isn't 100% sure, but there's a rumor that Paramount is going to do a sequel, and both John Travolta and Nicolas Cage are interested in returning.
What? No, I cannot do a Face Off 2. There's no need for it. You can't do it in 2021. We're not that stupid anymore. We've grown. We've learned. We've learned from our mistakes. Can't make a Face Off 2.
I don't know.
I'm gonna squash that
Debatable.
rumor. I'm
We've
squashing that
made some-
rumor. I'm getting
We've
online.
made some choices as a country that I
True.
don't know.
I know.
if they're
Actually, a
that
Face Off
smart.
2 would be probably very well received right now.
So I'm not 100% sure. So, this one was a little weird, but I guess in the original version, it was called Birdman of Alcatraz in the Future.
Oh, wow. Cool name. Very
And
cool.
in it, you remember how, so there's that prison, right? And the
Yes.
name of the prison, which you didn't catch this because I didn't catch it either, was the prison's name is Erewhon, which is an anagram of nowhere.
Oh,
Number
wow. Deep.
Number two,
Deep.
the prisoners with their boots, they were like magnetic.
Oh, yeah, like those giant magnet. They use those same boots in Battlefield Earth. They switched it over because that's part of the same costume. Anyway, I digress. What about it?
The prisoners use those boots to hang upside down from the ceiling,
Wow.
and they would collect the prisoners' bodily fluids. Don't 100% understand
Wait, what?
anything about
What
that.
is going on? What are you talking about?
The
You
original
lost me.
script was mostly set in prison, in the prison. The writers called it Birdman of Alcatraz in the future. In it, some prisoners hung upside down from the ceiling by their boots with IVs collecting bodily fluids.
That makes no sense.
Right?
I don't understand it. I'm
Right.
confused by this whole statement.
I reject it.
I reject it. I do have nothing to say about that. None of it makes sense. It is all gobbledygook to me right now.
It really 100% is. And also, they said that John Woo put real ex-criminals or ex-felons in the prison because he wanted it to feel real. Like, John Woo.
John, that's a little
People's
dangerous.
faces
Come
came
on,
off.
yes.
Like, how real was this going to be?
Yeah. He also decided to have a giant movie screen put in the prison too, so that they could watch the
is
news.
that real,
so
John
that
Woo?
all the criminals could watch the news for some reason.
The thing, I didn't put this on the list. I thought I did, but I remembered it because it made me laugh so hard. Was that John Woo would play really emotional, intense music to get them in the places they needed to be for the emotional
Get them hyped
scenes.
up, and then he gives them birthday cakes.
And,
Then he just pops out of a birthday cake.
And then the
surprises
stripper
them.
comes
Then
out.
The stripper comes out.
and John Travolta, he was like, you know what? I don't need this music. Like, I'm already there. This scene's already emotional.
John
And
Travolta's
I, for
so
the
hyped up.
life of me, could not imagine or figure out a scene from that was like that emotional.
No, there was none.
Could
at
you
all.
think of something that like
I
they
mean,
needed to have time to process?
Maybe his
and
son
then-
dying at the beginning, I guess, but that was like a quick 2-second thing.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
I really was
There
racking
was
my
no,
brain.
yeah, there's no emotional scenes. The whole ending of the movie is just them fighting on a boat for like 45 minutes.
I mean,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
They were also going to do that all green screen, but they also wanted to make it real. So
I'm glad they
did a
chose
lot
not
of
to
that.
do green screen. That was a good choice. John Woo, you made one good choice with that movie.
Yeah, it was. There's just a lot. There was a lot going on. They took that movie incredibly seriously. I mean, there's even stuff in here about like, the constellations. So, like,
Oh,
the main
geez.
character's name is Sean Archer, Sagittarius the Archer. One of the constellations of the zodiac is diametrically opposed
Oh,
to the
geez.
constellation Gemini, and Castor and Pollux are two
It's
major
a
stars in the
movie
Gemini
about two
constellation.
people's faces being switched, guys. Come on. Take
Yeah.
it down a notch. You just rip off each other's face flab skin and put it on another one. Come on.
Oh,
Let's slow your roll.
babe.
Slow your roll. Get
He
off your
made it
horse. Get
so
off your high
real.
horse.
There's like there's a whole thing about why the guy who played Pollux played him the way he did in that bizarre way because he
Yeah, 'cause
watched
he
a
was like that
documentary
weird-
about like a crazy genius.
Oh, yeah. That's why we said he made some bold choices with that acting. Because the whole time you're like, is he crazy? Or is he supposed to not be crazy? Is he a genius? What's going
They
on?
had originally offered that part to Mark Wahlberg, and Mark Wahlberg's like, I don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Thank you very much.
Good
Thanks,
choice,
but
Mark
no
Wahlberg.
thanks.
Good choice. But later you did The Happening. So,
I mean-
and certain things you touch don't do it that great.
Well, if you touched me, I'd do great.
So stupid.
All right, moving on to Battlefield
Oh,
Earth.
Battlefield Earth. Love it.
All right.
Love Battlefield Earth.
I can't get over how much I love this movie, period. Just can't. Just want to say that off the top of my head. The amount of love I have for Battlefield Earth, it knows no bounds.
No bounds.
All right. So, number one, John Travolta initially offered the director's job to Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, wow. That would have been a very different movie. Very different movie. Everyone's just bloody for so long. Blood everywhere.
I mean, I would have definitely wanted to see it. It sounds interesting. And apparently, like, this is just a side note, but part of John Travolta's defense of this movie is that Quentin Tarantino was at the screening and that he loved it. And
John
I'm
Travolta, you're
like-
making that up. You made that up. Did Quentin Tarantino ever release a statement saying that he thought that was going to be a good movie?
Part of me is like, okay, he did you a solid. He put you in Pulp Fiction. He brought you back into the zeitgeist. Maybe he's just a nice guy who's like, you did a great job, John.
Yeah, John,
Great
this looks
job,
real
bud."
good. Everyone wants to see a space movie that centers around office politics and corporate growth.
Oh, it's just so ahead of its
It
time.
was so ahead of its time. Everyone wants to see you drinking Kerbango, getting drunk on Kerbango, talking in a weird accent with your sixth finger. That sounds real good.
Oh, that reminds me. This is down the list, but I'll tell it to you now. Okay, apparently John Travolta was so inspired by Predator
Mhm.
that he originally
that's the dreadlocks. That's why they all look like
I
the
guess
Predator.
so. He originally delivered all of his lines in the Predator growl.
I don't even know what the Predator growl is. I've never seen Predator.
But you couldn't understand anything, so they had to go back and like loop a bunch of his sound, which made me laugh. Okay.
Oh, that just sounds so funny. Him walking around looking like the Predator because if you see him, and then just talking, I was creating galaxies at the Academy. I don't know how the Predator talks, but you get it.
So Barry Pepper, who plays Johnny Goodboy, he has tried to distance himself. Like, I mean,
there's no way you can, bud.
Get
that hair,
galaxies away from this movie.
Your hair at the end of that movie, that little pony in the front, there's no way you're getting away from this.
If he could, what's that thing they do where I'm totally blinking now, where they travel in and out of time? There's like the transporter. Yes, the teleport. If he could teleport to the planet Cyclo to get away from this movie, he would do that.
What else is he in? Has he been in anything else?
Yeah, he is in a lot of stuff, actually. He was actually just in that movie, Colin, that we watched about the alligators that escaped during a hurricane.
Oh, Crawl.
Yeah, he was the dad.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did not. Okay, so he's getting on up there, making a movie about alligators. Actually, that movie was not that bad, but
he's been in like some more movies too. Like I think it was like Band of Brothers or maybe Saving Private Ryan. It was like a World War II movie. So he pops up in stuff pretty steadily.
Good. I'm glad because that movie probably set him back a little bit.
Oh, didn't do him any favors. And Forrest Whitaker as well has kind of disowned this and been like, yeah, I regret it. It was a mistake. Let's just move on. But Barry Pepper everybody else is kind of like nice about it. You know, they're like, it wasn't the best. I probably wouldn't do it again. Yeah. Barry Pepper's like, this was a terrible script. It had terrible production value. John Travolta's whole paycheck is where all the money went. The rest of us got fucked over. It's like, so he has.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
The whole movie's filmed sideways in lime green lighting.
Yeah. Oh, and the guy who does the lighting was saying, like, I had no budget. I had the lowest budget I've ever had in my life. So I was trying to work with this just absolutely nothing. And so, yeah, there are some weird choices.
Wonder what's going through the actor's head, like Forrest Whitaker, when he's listening to John Travolta, like in this ridiculous costume, in this ridiculous makeup, drinking Curbango, and he's like yelling in this ridiculous voice. I wonder what's going through the actor's head. Like, this is going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
Because John Travolta delivers his lines like, galaxy. Like, it's so campy and cheesy. Like, you got to be sitting there thinking, like, am I making the right choice? Am I in the right place at the right time?
Cyclos. And John Travolta is like a British cyclo, and Forrest Whitaker is not. Which also you have to be like, should we be on the same page about this?
You learn British accents at the Academy. That's it. Cyclo Academy.
We're both cyclos, so do we both want to be British? Like, do we both want to be like, what's our choice here? Because we're both the same alien race. So there's not even consistency.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense
within that. So yes, again, we've said this before, but John Travolta referred to this film as either Star Wars New Hope, but better, or the Schindler's List of science fiction films.
Mm-hmm. And he was right. So that's it.
They're not a one-person argued with them. All right. So John Travolta to this day has never, ever, ever admitted that this was a failure.
Because he can't. He takes himself way too seriously. He'll never be able to joke about it.
It's not that we think the movie is a failure. It's that the Cyclos actually didn't win the war. And so it's the man animals that feel like it was a success. But then inevitably the Cyclos failed because of that.
Yeah. If that's how you look at it, yeah.
They're just dancing around. No, you didn't fail. That's how the story was. The Cyclos failed. So he keeps defending
damn writers.
And he's like, so this is what he says. Not every film can be a critical and box office success. It would have been awful only if Battlefield Earth was neither, and that's just not the case. It's edging toward $100 million, which means it has found an audience, even if the critics didn't like it.
I found an audience with people making fun of it, John Travolta. That's the only reason people are watching it, is to make fun of how ridiculously stupid that movie was.
And he's also, now his go-to line is like, everybody is prejudiced against Scientology. Everybody thought it was about Scientology, so they shut it down.
JT, look at the facts, bud. You made a really shit movie.
How dare you?
I mean, a really good,
really
good transformative movie.
Back when the book was first written, John Travolta wanted to make a movie of it from the beginning, like back in the 80s, and star as Johnny Goodboy, of course, because he wanted to be the hero. but he couldn't get any investors back in the day, especially because it was associated with Scientology. So by the time it got made, he was too old.
Oh,
So he's like, I guess I'll play Turtle.
Oh yeah, he wanted that to get made for so long. He loved it. It was on his it was like his life goal to get that movie made.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he took a huge pay cut. Even though Barry Pepper's like all the money went to him, he still took a massive pay cut in order to make it. He's like, because he made a deal like kind of like Mel Gibson did when he made The Passion of the Christ, where he's like, I'll put my own money into this, and then whatever we make in revenue, like I'll just take a percentage out of that if it does well, thinking that he was going to just like rake it in. But that did not work in his favor.
Poor guy.
So he took a pay cut and didn't really make anything off the back end either. John Travolta and Kelly Preston wrote her cameo themselves. I don't know.
Wow. I
that
did
you
not
could
guess
tell.
that. Oh, did you remember also one thing I wanted to mention is cyclos don't just have a sixth finger, they have a really long tongue. Because at the end, when she's bribing him, she like licks him and her tongue comes out and it's like 10 inches long.
It's supposed to be like
Side note.
super sexual or something, but it's
Her
gross.
beautiful forehead. Because women cyclones only just have giant foreheads with Dracula hairlines.
That's what makes them so sexual.
Mhm.
But speaking of the numbers of fingers, there's continuity errors all over the place. In some scenes he has 5, in some he has
What?
6.
What? No way. Color me surprised.
While trying to get a major studio to produce the project, John Travolta called Battlefield Earth the equivalent to Pulp Fiction from the year 3000. So it makes sense that he would ask Tarantino.
That was all Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction had
He's
no,
all
there's
over the place.
nothing. Yeah,
How
Pulp
can
Fic-
it
there's
be
no
Schindler's List in
correlation.
Space, Pulp Fiction,
I
and
know.
Star Wars all at once? How can
I
it be
know.
all of
He's
those
just hitting all his
things?
bases. He's just hitting every audience he can.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And this also blew my mind. Okay, so the book is 1,000 pages, and the film only covers the first 400 pages of the book. So
What?
there was
There's
supposed
more?
to be.
I
yes,
gotta
there
get my
was
hands on that book.
there
I've
was
got to see what the
supposed to be
cyclos do.
2. And the second half is Johnny Goodboy, the hero, restoring Earth to its former glory by using all of their mind gold to pay off planet Earth's debts.
Oh
Also,
my God.
by
Oh my God.
rehabilitating and surviving the cyclos.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I'm going to read that. I have to read it. I got to figure out what's up, Johnny Goodboy. It's just 1,000 pages of just listening to him mining gold, paying back debts, getting the office back in order, rehiring people.
For every day, they
Get
can mine X
HR.
amount of gold, and they owe this much
So
to the
stupid.
universe.
Well, now he's got to create a business so that he can pay off his debts.
Oh, now we
and
get to
then-
learn all about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so now we just repeat the cycle.
Yeah, so I was just like, part of me is sad that there wasn't a Battlefield Earth 2, because that was always the plan, was to do a sequel. And oh man, I'm kind of bummed that it didn't happen, because it was the gift that
Didn't
kept on
happen
giving the
yet.
first
Didn't
time
happen
around.
Didn't happen yet.
Yet, you're right. And despite the Church of Scientology declaring multiple times that Battlefield Earth had nothing to do with their faith, there have been lots of people who are like higher ups in the organization that have left, like Mike Rinder and Marty Rathbun, who are both like, I don't know if you do Scientology in the aftermath, but I am obsessed with that, and I love Mike Rinder so much. So anyway, he was super high up in Scientology leadership, and he's like, no, he absolutely played a vital role. Like David Miscavige was part of the everyday footage of the film. He would watch all of the playback daily, and he would give them advice and make creative suggestions.
Okay. And that's the guy he's like the head of Scientology or something?
Yes, he's like their prophet. He's like super high up.
Oh,
and after
okay. So just casually on the set, just being like, this has nothing to do with Scientology, but
right,
you should add this
and
aspect that I got just out of my brain.
100%.
anyone else,
Even
just
the
my brain.
writer, I didn't put this on the list, but something that was interesting was that the original writer of the script, his name was J.D. Shapiro, and he met like the connections for this movie because someone was trying to convert him to Scientology. He was hanging out in the Scientology Center. And
They used to get me back in the day in Hawaii. They would always be like, are you stressed? And I'm like, of course I'm stressed.
Of course I
Come
am.
take a stress test. And I'm like, okay. And I'd take it. And they're like, you're really stressed? And I'm like, what do I need to do? And they're
They're
like,
like, hold these
Scientology. Yes. And then I'd be like, oh, God, you got me again. Every time they tricked me. Every
I
time
love those multiple times.
It was,
wasn't
I
like
know,
one
I
and
was
done.
always just, they get you with all these things. And then they're like, have you heard about Scientology? And I'm like, yes. And I have nothing against
the
it,
way-
but you told me this was a stress test. I don't think
you
Scientology is going
sure
to make me
that-
less stressed.
You were doing medical trials and you weren't just
I don't know.
being tested by Scientology.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
So, I mean, he was a part of it, and our JD Shapiro was trying to be converted. He said no, but they were like, I mean, since we've got you here, like, would you write this movie for us? Like, we've been looking for a screenwriter. So he says yes, but he maintains that he was very clearly like, I don't want to be a Scientologist. I have no interest in this. I will write this movie for you, but only because it sounds interesting. And then
That's a lie.
they
Nothing
gave
about
it,
that movie sounded interesting.
They gave it to somebody else after he was done. And I guess where it's at now, or what became of it, was because somebody rewrote it. And he's like, I literally tried to get my name taken off the credits. Like, it was so bad that after I passed on it, or like after I did my draft and they rewrote it, I was like, I don't even want to get paid for this. I don't even want my credits on
yes.
it. Nothing. And his managers were like, listen, contractually, like, you have to do this, and da da da. You were paid a certain amount of money for it. And so he had to leave his name on it, but he was like, he hated that he did. And he's like, sometimes I think I should be proud that, like, of all the shitty movies, like, mine was the shittiest. Maybe
Yeah,
there's
take
like
ownership.
something to be said
Take
for that.
ownership. Take ownership. Just make it empower you. Let it empower you.
And it was inherently, like, really impractical in a lot of ways. Like, they were walking on 4-foot stilts, like those boots.
Yes, those Hot Topic
it was
boots.
just,
Ugh,
yeah,
I'm telling you, they took them from the Face Off set.
it was nuts. So anyway, the point is that after the film didn't do well, David Miscavige reportedly just completely threw Travolta under the bus and was like, it sucks because of him.
Sorry.
And he took too much of a salary. It sabotaged everything else. He kind of hopped on the Barry Pepper train. And so everybody is kind of throwing him under the bus. At the same time, he's like, oh, there's not even a bus, guys. I don't throw me wherever you want, but there's no bus coming. It was a great movie. I made a ton of money.
The money
And so
bus. Throw me under the money bus.
Yeah, you could throw me under the money bus. I'll take that. But he, to this day, is like, oh, I would make it all over again. I have no regrets about it. I love it. I would make a sequel in a heartbeat. And yeah, so he stands by it to this day. Good for him.
Well, those are some fascinating facts about bad movies.
I mean, the
Some more fascinating than others.
The takeaway for me was Hollywood parrots exist.
But yeah, that's the big takeaway for me. That Hollywood parrots exist, and that that actually probably was the big takeaway. I love that. I love that. Who knew that there were Hollywood parrots? You learn something every day.
I just want to see
Well, all
parrots
those
with little
deep-
sunglasses on.
The fan fiction or the theories behind Deep Blue Sea, that was so ridiculous. Like they
Oh,
just
that they're
really
thinking.
went
Yeah.
for it. Ugh.
Love it.
Well,
Love it.
anyway, we just wanted to share a little bit of, knowledge about these great movies that we watch. I know you guys are super interested.
Just give you some context, guys.
I know you guys
Just give
really
you
are
some fully
fascinated.
flesh out.
I know. In
these
case there's
deep
any questions,
stories.
we have to let you know these facts. But we'll see you next week for another episode.
Enjoy. In the meantime, and
Enjoy in the meantime. Thanks for sticking in.
I don't even know what I was going to
don't know
say.
either.
Enjoy. Just enjoy your life.
Just enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, editor here. I just found out that you can read the entire Battlefield Earth book online for free. And so I was just kind of skimming through it, and I realized that I just want to read to you guys the first, little bit of the first page, because the way that Mr. Hubbard writes is, comparable to like a 14-year-old writing fan fiction. It's very good. Man, said Turl, is an endangered species. The hairy paws of the Chamco brothers hung suspended above the broad keys of the laser bash game. The cliffs of Char's eye bones drew down over his yellow orbs as he looked up in mystery. Even the steward, who had been padding quietly about picking up saucepans, lumbered to a halt and stared. Turl could not have produced a more profound effect had he thrown a meat girl naked into the middle of the room. The clear dome of the Intergalactic Mining Company Employee Recreation Hall shone black around and above them, silvered at its crossbars by the pale glow of the Earth's single moon, half full on this late summer night. Turl lifted his large amber eyes from the tome that rested minutely in his massive claws and looked around the room. He was suddenly aware of the effect he had produced, and it amused him. Anything to relieve the humdrum monotony of a 10-year duty tour in this God's-abandoned mining camp way out here on the edge of a minor galaxy. In an even more professorial voice, already deep and roaring enough, Turl repeated his thought. Man is an endangered species. Char glowered at him. What in the name of disease crap are you reading? Turl did not much care for his tone. After all, Char was simply one of several mine managers, but he, Turl, was chief of mine site security. I didn't read it. I thought it. You must have got it from somewhere, growled Char. What is that book? Turl held it up so Char could see its back. It said General Report of Geological Mine Sites, Volume 250,369. Like all such books, it was huge, but printed on material that made it almost weightless, particularly on a low-gravity planet such as Earth, a triumph of design and manufacture that did not cut heavily into the payloads of freighters. Anyways, this book is a masterpiece, and I just wanted to come in and say that.